Going to the Rural Independent Group, where Deputy Michael Collins and then Deputy Richard O'Donoghue are sharing with their colleagues.
Thank you, Ken Corley. Imagine, Minister, you just stepped into the property ladder, finally owning a place to call home. Now picture this, newfound security, suddenly shaken by something you never faced before, rising mortgage interest rates. For many people in Ireland, this is a reality check they've never seen coming. It's causing many sleepless nights and making them wonder where this financial rollercoaster might lead to. These rising rates aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're like an unwelcome guest crashing the financial income of homeowners. If rates keep going up, your monthly mortgage bills could shoot through the roof, leaving you with less cash. And let's face it, the cost of living is already on the upswing. So higher mortgages repayments feel like a double whammy to families' finances. It's got everyone jittery about what's down the road. The statistics paint a bleak picture. The Central Bank had previously estimated that prior to this most recent rate surge, approximately 1 in every 5,000 would witness their annual mortgage repayments skyrocketing by over 3,000. An additional 1 in every five households face the prospect of bearing the weight of a crushing 5,700 annual mortgage cost increase. They aren't just numbers, they represent the real financial hardship that homeowners are grappling with on a daily basis. This is playing into the hands of the bad banks and the filthy way they work and prey on people who are struggling to pay the mortgage. And I'll finish by talking about Bank of Ireland right now. Minister, I attended court with a person recently that was in a mortgage arrears, and the judge had a good faith, and a very kind and fair judge said that he wanted myself, that person, and the Bank of Ireland to sit around the table. I have made 5 communications to the top-ranking people in Bank of Ireland. They do not want to sit around the table. So they are delighted to grab that person's house. They are delighted to hit the hammer down on an innocent person who wants to pay. I will never represent anyone that don't want to pay. Bank of Ireland are doing filthy business out there. Maybe other banks are, but this is an astonishing situation that the state continues to support banks who throw people out of homes, people that are interested and genuinely want to pay their mortgages.
Minister, take a person that has a 250,000 mortgage. In today's terms, that's a small mortgage. 200,000 of that is 13.5% VAT, which is 23,788.55. You then take 50,000 of that 250,000 mortgage is at 23% VAT, which is 9,349.60. So, Minister, that gives you 33,138 tax that the government is taking off a person on their mortgage. You then look at the contractor that has to build that house, and an average tax that he pays on that is 10,204, which means that on a 250,000 mortgage, the government takes on tax 43,342.15. But let's hold on again. The person that has to qualify for that mortgage over 25 years has to do an annual tax that you're taking off of them for a couple is 12,792. And if you work that out over 25 years, you're taking 319,800 euros in tax for a person that wants to build a house for 250,000. We're talking about mortgage relief here. You're taxing them out of existence. It's not only the banks that are the problem here, it's you are the problem. And that's before they have the cost of living. And you charge them 50 cents in every drop of juice going into their car. Everything you're taxing them out of existence. So there's no reward in this country for a person that works. No reward. All your reward is tax. And even when you come to the end of your days and you want to go to a nursing home, if you have any few bob inside in the bank, you make them spend their own money up to a certain cap if they want to leave to their children or grandchildren, to give them a start into the next generation. It's tax. So it's not only the banks are ripping off this country, it's the government in tax.
I too, and I won't deal with the tax because we can see that and people have been robbed blind, but the banks are getting away with murder because they're in bed with yourself, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and of course now the Green government. I cannot believe it. After the bailout and the misery and persecution they put on people, that they're back now doing the very same again. And what are you doing? Rubbing, as I said before to the Count Cole here, sour to fat pigs, you know what. And that's what it is. And that's what it is. And I am disappointed, and I criticise other ministers, so I will criticise my namesake, Minister McGrath, for leaving again before we come up. Our ideas don't matter. They don't matter at all. We don't matter. But you are in consort with the banks. You have let them get away with blue murder and the way they're treating families. 10 interest, this ECB did 10 interest hikes over the last while to tackle inflation. So it's failing to tackle inflation. So why keep doing it? The definition of madness is keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. And that's what you're doing. But you have no mercy on the ordinary people. As Deputy Donoghue said about the tax, they'll be convinced about the banks won't engage, even after a good judge intervening. And by God, many of the judges aren't that fair to the customers. They're on the side of the banks too, most of them, and the vulture funds. And the ordinary person has no shake-up. So is there any wonder that people are frustrated and people are disappointed and people are, these are the people that get up in the morning, help themselves. They're not some of the homeless people. They house themselves. They put their faith in, got the mortgage and built their own house or bought the house or whatever. And you crucify them every which way you can. Every which way you can, in tax and in mortgage, and this bill tonight, well, I support it, but it's not anyway targeted, so we can't give it to everyone. But there should be definitely, this should be reintroduced for a large cohort of the people that are in this situation. Can't live, can't put our children back to school, college education, everything, run the cars and try and live. It's just not fair and it's just not right. But when are you going to wake up and smell the coffee? You're not until you be fired out and you're ill.
Thank you very much, Count Caller. Minister, first of all, I just want to say the enormity of what has happened to, in particularly, families' mortgages and the increases. We've just ordinary mortgages that have gone up by 400, 500, 600, 700 euros a month, and people have to try and come up with that extra money. They're finding it impossible. But that's been well spoken about here already. There's one thing that I want to say about our banks. We have to get back to the type of banking that we had long ago. When you could go into an AIB or a BOI or any one of the other banks, and you could meet a person called the manager, the real person, the man or the woman who was in charge. And I want to remember people like Dennis Cronin, Frank McMonigal, David Brooks, all these great people in County Kerry over the years who were managers of our banks. They were real people standing behind the counter waiting to meet their customers, to take them into room, to discuss their issues, their difficulties, their requirements. And they were kind, they were tough, but they were understanding. They knew what they could do and they knew what they couldn't do. But this thing of, oh, well, look, we'll take it from you and we'll send it to Dublin and we'll see how 'twill get on. Oh, God, protect me. And like, I'm only one small little person, but the amount of times I've heard this story, we'll send it to Dublin. And what I say is, oh, God help us, because we'll never again see it coming back from Dublin. And if we'll be waiting for a positive response, waiting we'll be. Give those people autonomy of their own business and make them real managers again. People that can decide, yes, we're going to help you. Yes, we understand your difficulty. And they'll build up proper relationships. But having people called managers, and they're not really managers because they're toothless. And they don't have power because, oh, it's all centering around Dublin.
Yeah, I'm glad to get an opportunity to Count Caller to talk on this very serious matter that's here before us this evening. And while I welcome Sinn Féin for bringing it forward, I don't exactly agree 100% that this will be targeted enough to help the people that are in trouble. And Minister, what I can't understand, your government is agreeing to these interest increases, and the reason for it is you're saying just to curb inflation. And at the same time, we know that the people that this is affecting are people that are on the road going to work every day. And we see the cost of the petrol pumps now gone from over 185 for a litre of petrol or diesel. They're nearly all the same now again. And why isn't there some control put in that? No. You're insistent on putting back on the excise duty and increasing the carbon tax. And these are the same people you're affecting that are trying to pay the extra interest on their mortgages and pay the higher mortgages. I can't understand that when you say, and when you allow the ECB to say, look, it is fine because it is to curb inflation. That doesn't make sense to me, when on the other end, the very same people that are on the road in the dark in the morning and go home in the dark in the evening now, are paying through the nose per litre for the petrol and the diesel that they're using. You're not making any sense or any logic to those poor people out there that are trying to deal with the increases. And I'm asking you now, as the government, and he had shareholdings in AIB and Bank of Ireland, why don't he intervene and intercede and ensure that people get fair play? You've lost the run of yourselves. Because I can't understand, and a lot more like me can't understand, that by increasing the interest rates, you're going to curb inflation. And at the same time, you're driving mad with carbon tax and excise duty on top of the exorbitant cost of the base price of oil to start out with.
Good stuff. Thank you, Deputy Healy-Rae. Now, Deputy Jones.